Jews in the house? Come on out, you rapist. Oh.
We are in control now.
Yes. That's right, infidels. Send up the signal flares for the live to tape of the Friday locker rooms. So much to talk about as your world burns down around you. The savage becoming more savage. The stooges stooging on everyone. And happy birthday, Finger Bang. It's the crotch crusher himself, MSG, Hacker Hamid, ready to break down all of the headlines. No mercy, YOLO. Oh, yeah, man. Wow. Oof, oof, oof. What a day, dude. There are no days off. Especially just really starting out on the Caesar Bonini program. Excited about it. But this calorie deficit, serious discipline shit is no joke, man. But we're not here to joke around. Well, maybe a couple will joke about. But feeling good. We worked out today. HMG, health, mental fitness quest. We're all underway to build bigger, better version of ourselves, not older, fatter, and balder. But yeah, we're back in the studio, you guys. I did Russo brand this morning with Jeff Lane and Vince updating the ever ongoing ridiculous saga of this tragic event, involving Raja Jackson and Psycho Stu and plenty of others, as they just cannot get out. They cannot get out from like the spotlight. They just need it. They crave it. And right now is the time to shut the fuck up and shut the fuck up. But it seems to be the opposite of that in this TMZ driven world. But you never know what dirt's coming out about this guy too. From the inside to the outside, it's MSG. How you doing, buddy?
I'm doing good. I had a salad for lunch, so I feel you. Had a salad and a cup of apple chips just for dessert. So I'm feeling pretty good. Feeling sore, feeling tired, but yeah. So you mentioned earlier when you messaged me, and you're saying that you had just got done with Russo. Is that something that you guys recorded that's going to be put out, or?
Yeah, Al's in UK, and he said he could do it, but Vince asked me last night on the drive home from Ravens joint. I was, called him on the phone after I saw this new AJ Mana like crazy shoot. So,
so it's Lions, Tigers, Bears, and Bin,
and head. I'm the bald head, dude. Yeah, we really buried the big byline is that I'm such a big star now that I bumped Al Snow from his spot. You know what I mean? Sent him packing out of the territory. Hack is back. But no, it was quite an intense show, an intense conversation today. So that was quite a way to start my my day off. But happy to do it, and hopefully you guys enjoy it on the Russo brand side.
Did you get to watch? Did they have you watch the videos?
Yeah, we watched probably 90% of everything that's been out, but every video that comes out is a key piece of prosecution evidence.
Wow.
So like if we didn't have it in the loop, and Jeff did a great job moderating and cutting through the videos. But there's probably like 3 or 4 that aren't in there. And there was some on World Star this morning that we can talk about that were interesting as well.
Yeah. Lots of stuff.
Did you see the one with Rampage, where he's in the back of the car with the young lady?
No, I have not seen that one.
I think it's a complete work, and it kind of sets up a very weird crossroads. And like, these are the big what ifs of my conspiracy mind, but he's saying that he didn't think his son was right since his mother's murder. And I'm like, his mother's murder? I didn't hear anything about that. And then I tried to look into it for like 40 minutes this morning, and it's all sealed. I could barely find her name. Like, something is off. And I just saw that Rampage, when he split with her, she got, now I don't know if this is his Japanese baby's mom or not, $500 million, no, $500,000, $500,000, and Rampage got to keep all the houses. But whoever Raja Jackson's mom is, I think Rampage got custody because they proved substance abuse or something along those lines. I had read in some, but it was just every newswire had the exact same copy, and nobody has any facts on what happened to her. So for Rampage to drop that is a heat shift, but it also sets up the first levels of groundwork for a temporary insanity plea, where you can go, oh, he wasn't, since then he had trauma and his mind hasn't been right since then, right? Like, that's what a smart lawyer would be looking for, is what are my escape clauses through mental illnesses and things along those lines. So that video felt very, very worked to me. He did a good job working it, but like, that was the first thing I saw. Like, all right, we may need to start setting things up for the future. If we're going to use, I live stream my life, why would you be saying that shit on camera? Like, that's just maybe how crazy LA is with these wannabe live streamer influencers. But then there's the second video where he's coming out at, I think, LAX. I'm not sure. It could be any airport. But somebody runs up on him, and he's like, I can't say anything, guys. He's like, and the guy's like, yeah, we just care about your family. Prayers to your family, Rampage. And and he's like, even if I could say anything, they're going to twist my words against me. So he's doing damage control on himself. And the paparazzi guy's like, hey, compassion is what we need in this time. Like, okay, this interaction seems more genuine than the setup in the car. But why would you be saying we need compassion this time? This could also be a plant saying, be kind to my son, planting that image. And if I'm a lawyer with a PR firm backing me and I'm trying to protect all my assets, and this is just how things go in LA when things go in motion in the entertainment industry, these two things I just saw on World Star this morning seem very manufactured to me, to like start to direct the narrative a certain way. And these guys that are over at Knox Pro are stabbing each other up mafia style, like throwing each other under the bus, and because it's a serious problem. Like, there, it's like the rats are jumping off the sinking ship here. So it's very ongoing. You're in the eye of the shitacane right now. Like, I think this, and if, use your worst imagination about his mother being killed. Are we headed towards an OJ 2 situation? Let's not forget, Rampage Jackson's the guy who fucking was speeding down the goddamn sidewalk in a monster truck, hit a chick who had a miscarriage and almost got sued and did time for killing an unborn baby. Like, this is like, you can't just be like, oh, he's traumatized, bro. This is nepotism, fame seeking, clout chasing, viral moment, and the brink of society living their lives on social media for interactions from strangers they don't know, hoping to generate $1 through clicks only to get famous and do a boxing work. Like, that's like, this is how far down this insane fame rabbit hole is that fuels what the fuck happened, here. And even the video of his dad while he's at ringside before he goes and does it, of saying, I heard you got beat up by some bitches in fucking panties or whatever, like, is throwing fuel on that fire of like, you ain't shit, son. Go be a fucking crazy youth and don't worry about it, like there won't be any repercussions. Nobody has any foresight or instinct of what's best to do in a situation like this. He's painting his own self in his own mind as a hero, that if he does this, he'll expose these wrestlers and he'll be respected as a tough guy. That isn't how it's going to go down, like, and then the dudes inside, we can talk about the AJ Manis shoot, but like, he's on camera having a nervous breakdown when he should be way small, lawyered up before accessory to, attempted manslaughter charge comes his way. He got fired from his job because obviously this is the most viral thing that's been on our Twitter feed the last 72 hours. But then these guys are all, in my opinion, all gassed up, all on who knows what gimmicks. And like they thought they were going to ride this Oos thing out with the WWE ID. And when push comes to shove, it's all bullshit, more carny shit in wrestling. And now that there's real jail time and lawsuits involved in this shit, all that carny shit goes away. And it's his fault. Dude, fucking Johnny Ace just did the same thing to Vince McMahon, except that he doesn't have it running on Kick in real time.
Right.
Like that's pretty much the same fucking level of stooging that's going on. And every time these guys on either side, whether it's Rampage's kid, like you want to call him Ajax, but fucking what's his Raja, fucking Raja, he tries to pin it on the fucking cameraman for not turning the camera off. Like, dude, and you're telling your dad this shit, and your dad's on camera. Like, this is a lesson of. You better beware of your behavior and be aware of it and beware of it. If you're going to do live streams, bro, you're fucking, if you're committing felonies and misdemeanors all the time, like they're going to come for you. You're just giving them their whole case. And every time they turn the camera on, it makes it worse. Every clip I've seen could be used as evidence if I was a lawyer to build my case airtight, bro, to get the biggest charges on him so they settle for the biggest payoff possible. You know, it's crazy, bro. It doesn't stop. And who knows where this goes with the mother's murder, bro? Like, is this the new OJ coming down where we have nonstop court coverage, like with Michael Jackson dancing on the car and shit? You know what I mean? Like, don't think this pressure can't make Rampage snap. He'll be right back on the fucking sidewalk mowing people down.
Crazy stuff, man. Did you see all the, I guess, you know, because multiple people have now starting to come out, Rob Van Dam, Mark Henry. Yeah. Did you see Mark Henry's comments?
I did. We watched that. And, you know, I have a huge respect for Mark and how he's treated me at OVW in the past. And obviously everything he's accomplished, but there's just a lot in there that I don't agree with. I understand that he is trying, like, in his heart, he always kind of wants to smooth things over for both sides. You can kind of see that. He talked about that with the Hogan racism stuff. You know what I mean? He wanted to help. He, in a tough time, this guy's willing to fucking step up and shoulder the load. So for that, I respect him. However, you try and toe a line and make sense, and the things you're saying make sense, but then it starts to turn from, I want all the old school guys who are drinking beer before the show. Now, I don't agree with getting wasted before the show, but welcome to some shindies, and they're stamping the WWE ID thing because they're USO adjacent or directly connected, right? Like, so they get a pass, and they're like, act like they're a mob family too. They got graphics on their bloodline. I fucking say it's about as Corleone as it gets, you know. And then in 2 minutes later, he's going, and all Psycho Stu did was show that he's not a tough guy. You got to be a tough guy to be in this business. Tough guy, you're knocked out from a bump and you let somebody fucking drop 23 into your face. Like, what's he supposed to do? The Undertaker sit up and fucking shake it off? Like, fuck that. Like, I'm not selling that.
I'm not
shit.
selling for this. Yeah.
Dude, like, he's out. So Mark Henry is doing the old guy bit of you're not tough enough to be in wrestling. And he's saying it about a guy who was in the military. So right there, Mark is showing that he's still in the wrestling bubble while trying to do the work to do damage control to how pro wrestling looks. But it's cutting the throat of Rikishi's thing and letting them go in the win instead of going, and he's trying to put over that WWE ID is spotless, it's polished. Well, it's not, because they had the sticker, so it's all bullshit. And then he's trying to say in NXT, it's NCAA athletes and da-da-da, and hazing doesn't go on. Bullshit, bro. Like, Mark came from OVW. I've got the hazing rituals, allegedly, on DVD. Like, fucking, this shit doesn't ever end in the military, in Ivy League schools, in Bohemian Grove, in Skull and Bones. It don't stop, bro. The old boys club of carnies, queers, and addicts that will forever run this business.
And for those,
and,
oh, go ahead.
and sorry, and I hate to say it because I gotta respect Mark Henry, you know, like to disagree with him of like his take by the end was just flagrantly 180 degrees from what he was preaching 2 minutes before. So how am I supposed to take what he was saying before at more than face value of like, well, you'll flip Carney in a minute when you say there should be no Carneys, you know, like that. And that's how the way that is, Briz. And if it's going on with Johnny Ace and Vince, and it's going on in the back parking lot of Knox Pro Wrestling, the mob shit doesn't change no matter what level it's at, bro.
So for those who missed it, Mark Henry said, I don't know the full story, but I do know what I saw. It looked like he, as in Jackson, wasn't smart to what was going on. And the dude that was messing with him, Stu, bit off more than he could chew. And you got to be careful, one, with who you mess with, and two, who are you as a veteran for inciting a riot with a kid? If indeed what I saw was what I saw, which is people before the show during the daytime drinking and intoxicated or partially intoxicated, you bust a bottle over a guy's head and talk trash like that guy was not coming to do nothing, yeah, you're at fault. And then he doubled down.
It's not that I think Mark hasn't seen it all in context. And if the way we watch it, I hope I give some perspective with Vince and Jeff in this of that the guys in back, even though it's not on camera, because what we're seeing is from Roger Jackson's camera guy, right?
Yeah.
But those guys were smartened up saying that Cowboy Samoa and AJ Mana is bringing him and the guy's a streamer and da-da-da. So when you see the camera, it is. Then they probably knew there was going to be business that they wanted to set up. So later on, after that happens and they shake hands, you see Uso, the promoter, AJ Mana, and other dude like Stu kind of form a triangle around him. We're like, and then you could bring your dad in. We'll do a whole thing. That's the true nature of this. The top guys over there knew they had their hooks into Roger Jackson, who's a live streamer and wants a spot. Fucking Rampage has been on podcasts saying, I would have done pro wrestling, but I found out what those guys got to go through and how many days a week they got to work, right? Like, I was friends with Chris Benoit. Wow, that's a great name drop to fucking put out there. Like, you know, like, so these guys are seeing that on the sheets, and now they got this kid, and they're going to grease him up to get him involved in the carniness, even though he's an outsider, because then his dad will come in, and there'll be more eyes on the promotion, because house is light tonight, guys. There's only 40 people at this fucking bar show. So that's why they're out back drinking. So the kid shows up, but these guys have already done their little mob. This is how we're going to get over on this kid. And I'm going to Rampage Jackson's going to be in your segment, Psycho Stu, when it comes to fucking Halloween Havoc or whatever the fuck they're doing, right? Like, by that time, they think they'll have enough momentum with it. So when the camera shows up and he hits him with the can, Stu's already working, thinking this kid's going to fucking do it. That's why he goes, you're not going to sell that? Thinking we're on camera. We're supposed to be having a feud. Trust me, I'm not going to fuck you up. Instead, the dude snaps because he's not smartened up. He's not a worker on camera. He's a live streamer. And now he just got made to look like a bitch because his fucking comments will blow up, smoking, blah, 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 and try and hype it up. You know what I mean? On some dumb shit. Instead of saying, cameras here, this is a wrestling thing, we need to work it. So that gets out of hand. They buddy it up. They brother it up. Even Uso, the promoter's got his hand on his wrist for like 2 minutes trying to calm it down. It's good, brother. It's good. It's good. Yeah. No, he didn't know it was a work. And then you see him go, I'll have him run in your match. And then he'll fuck him up. And like that AJ Mana goes on shoot. He goes, roll that back. He goes, what did he say? He goes, I'm going to have him run in your match and you'll fuck that motherfucker up. That's not how it's said. How it's said is, yeah, brother, no, you'll run into his match. You fuck that motherfucker up, which means bing, bang, boom, like working shots. But a lawyer watching that would tell AJ Mana, there's your get out of jail free card because the boss just said that. But a jury, will they have the context of how wrestlers talk that Nah, you're just gonna run in there, fuck him up, fuck that motherfucker up, boom, 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 hit this cocksucker, boom. Like, you know, like there is wrestling carniness built into the context of how it is. But AJ Mana goes off, as his lawyer probably told him that he's got a good defense to get out of it and pin it on this guy instead, goes on a podcast and loses his mind and has a fucking GHB fucking TRT breakdown on camera, bro, like is screaming at the camera. So everybody involved in this is an idiot when it comes to how they protect themselves. Even the Usos and Knox Pro are sending out text messages to guys, don't talk to the cops. Now you're guilty of obstruction of justice. Yeah. There isn't one person in this, except at the lowest level, Psycho Stu, who was just trying to work, but he's probably in on the work to try and grease this kid to get Rampage in. So guilty by association, you get what's coming to you. It's kind of like in The Sopranos, the fucking dude who runs the strip club always gets his ass kicked by Tony. He gets a bucket of ice or something thrown in his fucking head for being stupid. Like, that's his part to play. And in The Sopranos, he does get fucking hit with a lock in the eye from Ralphie. Like, he keeps getting abused. So this is the dark side of wrestling that Dark Side of the Ring doesn't even really know how to look at properly to some degree, that Unreal would never do, because there is a lot of real stuff going on in this fucking Outback Jack locker room that they got going on there that the normal fan wouldn't recognize unless you've been in this business 10, 15 years, bro.
Certainly a lot to unpack with what's going on and everything. Prayers up for that Psycho Stu guy. Obviously, we want to see him recover because that guy got the shit kicked out of him.
I bet he doesn't want to see himself recover because, like, the longer he's fucked up, the more money. Because this isn't somebody out of the crowd that got hit with a chair and got their finger broke. This is a worker who probably was never going to go any higher than 50, 60 people at Knox Pro, maybe work a 1,000-person show. And that's fine. There's plenty of great workers and guys I know that fit that description. So what's he going to do? Vince McMahon rear ends you on the highway. Oh, my neck. You're going to get paid. And he could get paid from Rampage. He could get paid from the bar. He could get paid from Knox Pro. He could get paid from AJ Mana if he's got any money from stripping down at the Cowboy Ranch down there. And fucking WWE and TKO, where all those other ones will get combined in there, and it'll fall on TKO for probably a couple tens of millions of dollars of payout because that WWE ID sticker's on there and because it's Uso Rikishi run and their fucking kids are right on the main dudes on TV. So there's no denying the fact, like, that if I'm an attorney, is Rikishi part owner in this? Yes. Who is his sons? Those kids. Is Yeet the top guy there? Yeah, they says main event Jey Uso in front of his name. Well, I would say that the WWE ID brand directly ties, Your Honor, to the TKO property. And now where are we when it comes to where was regulation? Where was oversight? Why are your employees drinking on the job beforehand? Why is the house up from 30 to 40? Who's doing a great job over here?
Yeah, T&. Kubaner notes already that the GoFundMe has raised $182,000 so far. So.
Yeah, I hope it's a legit one, But, dude, I would probably say slap a zero on that, and that's probably what he'll settle for. I think they'll sue for $50 million, settle for probably 20, and he'll walk away with 14 after the lawyers take their cut.
Wow.
You think it's not worth it? Do you think? I mean, what is that? They're charging $4,800 a seat at second row for WrestlePalooza. What do you think TKO and Holdings has, even though they've got $3.5 billion in debt?
In debt, yeah.
Like, Dana White goes and fucking puts $10 million down on a hand of Baccarat, my guy. Like, there's just such levels to this ridiculousness of everybody involved. And Vince was like kind of in the bubble himself a little bit on the show. He's like, Ben, what do you think TKO Ari Emanuel thinks when he's seeing this shit? I go, bro, he's got to deal with Shane Strickland running his mouth, fucking Conor McGregor cock picks, You know, like he's got to do his own fucking Dana slapping his wife around in the fucking nightclub. Like Ari's dealt with this shit. I'm sure he's got skeletons too. So it's not like the MMA fight league isn't filled with testosterone filled, gassed up, on gimmick retards that fucking want to show how tough they are. Then they get on a podcast and they're fucking tweaking out. Like you're like, holy shit, dude. Why they just can't stay small. It's that LA fame addiction, and it don't stop, bro. Really.
Well, I guess we'll see what happens here. If a lawsuit comes from it, if somebody gets arrested, or if the people just protect, the kid, and nobody talks to the police, and nothing ends up happening because of it.
I see it becoming a bigger media circus. I don't know where the thing with the mother leads. That's interesting, and nobody's got the dirt on it. Like from what I saw, just going through, and even doing a major search in AI. Like, so where does that lead back, and why is that sealed records? The mystery abounds. That means we have to now stay tuned. Is he's the one who brought it up? Like in an improv scene, everything is supposed to be there that's there. And when you introduce it into the universe, now we have to address it.
Now we have to address it, yeah.
Yeah, and why would you do that? Now, is that a lawyer telling them to do that so you can then release that and make it be like, oh, I can see why the kid's been insane? Because that seems to be the intention. Or what was the true crime thing where they had the guy mic'd and he was in the room stooging on himself? They got me. Oh, they got me. Robert, say Hurst, but isn't it? And he stooges himself off. Is that guilty conscience and him bringing it up? Now that's just all completely hypothetical. I have no idea how this woman passed, but after seeing that fucking true crime shit,
Robert Durst,
yeah. Like, is that what that was? I don't know. I mean, that's a huge shot in the dark. But leaving it a dun-dun-dun mystery after I lived through O.J. Simpson trial, that's where I think this could go. And the fucking news wants this shit. They want 24/7 salacious bullshit, TMZ lifestyle. And so does Raja Jackson, no matter how, much he's like, I'm not a bitch. Like, being on camera and being in the timeline fed his addiction more than his worry that he just did an attempted manslaughter live on camera. Clout chase. Is that not what the kids call the clout chase?
Clout chasing, yeah.
I don't know, bro. Like, I think every chapter of this is just going to keep getting weirder, bro. It's much like Hulk Hogan's death. Like, it is not stopping.
Oh, boy. Well, not to change the subject.
It's quite a week, dog, right? Like,
it is quite a week. It just keeps getting crazier and crazier with the stories.
How many push-ups you going to do tonight, Matt?
I don't know.
I'll do 20 if you do 20.
Okay. All right. Well, you sent me a story here before we started. Vince McMahon allegedly engaged in sexual acts with Ashley Massaro in front of WWE talent. So, disturbing new allegations have surfaced about Vince McMahon and Ashley Massaro. Former WWE writer Dan St. Germain made shocking claims during an appearance on the B&Ian podcast, accusing McMahon of engaging in a public sexual act with Massaro during a European tour. He said Vince fucked a girl in front of everyone. They were on a European trip and Vince started fingering Ashley Massaro. And then Vince goes, when they get on the tarmac, all right, everyone, get on the tarmac. They all went on the tarmac and watched as the fucking plane bounced back and forth, and Vince fucked this girl in front of them. He's an absolute maniac. This is true. So anyway, a lot of crazy stuff about that place.
Happy birthday to me, pal.
So, of course, obviously Ashley Massaro's death was already, in 2019, was already amidst of controversy based on the fact that there was a cover-up in 2007 about sexual assault that she suffered at a military base during a WWE tour.
Dude, what did I just say about Robert Durst and what led to what Rampage saying? And now this story's here, and we have on camera.
Come on out, you rapist! Oh.
Wow.
What is our subconscious telling us in how we perform? what we're putting out there. When they say there's a hoax this way, it's really 180 degrees on them, isn't it? They're the ones usually pulling it off in the government.
Yeah.
Those pointing the finger, and they might as well just be pointing it right fucking back at them. Yeah, dude. Like, and not to, I don't know this writer, but I'm surprised they printed his name. And then, dude, this guy should be given deposition and Ashley Massaro stuff, and this should all be under lock and key right now. That speaks volumes to the character of how Vince's sexual deviancy will lead him to make insane decisions, do all types of quid pro quo sexual favors or rape with people around to witness it, thinking that there are no repercussions, dude, only to have it happen to her in another foreign country, and then for her to ultimately take her own life. Like, we want to talk about how little respect for a human that you could have, dude, and why these women are actually hired in WWE. It's not to go put on a 5-star match. It really isn't. And everybody's a half liar while they try and lock down their husband so they're not sexually abused by management. And there's guys sitting in gorilla position on Unreal who were there while this went on. They're still in the company. Are you not an accessory after the fact or during the fact? Like, if I'm Janelle Grant's lawyers, this guy's fucking going to be a star witness for me on what he's seen. You know, like these are not like, what's in it for this guy to come out with that story?
Nothing really.
And that's one story, bro.
Right. How many other stories are there?
You're that comfortable that you're finger banging your fucking employee on the plane, tell everybody to get off so you can fucking, if the jets are rocking, don't come in and knocking. Like, what the fuck, pal? This shit is fucking insane. And how is this not the story of what's going on TV? You know what I mean? I'm watching Succession right now. It's crazy, the parallels. Yeah, dude. These are the people at the very top of the food chain in this shit. And you're wondering why at the bottom of the food chain this other type of stuff is going on? Because it truly acceptable. It doesn't matter what the public purview is. They can just go biggest ratings and biggest money draw ever. Yeah. That's what you want your money to keep going to? Okay. It's an insane society right now, bro, that because people are on TV, we give them a pass, and this is the true person whose behaviors are being told that you think these tigers change their stripes? Absolutely not. He was probably trying to finger bang some waitress at his 80th birthday party and fuck her in the coat room with the drummer from AC/DC or some shit. They are fucked up. This is high level elites, bro.
I'm just
that are from the trailer park. And they're still trailer park trash. They got abused and were made to fucking wear wigs and dresses. Delusions of actually being in the military.
Do you think that, I mean, he's 80 years old now. So, I mean, is there a chance that this guy kicks the bucket before he ever gets charged anything?
Well, that's why you would live these days. And the guy just fucking smashed down a lady on the highway doing 90 in a fucking, what's the car he's got?
I don't know. Is Bentley or something?
Yeah, fucking $300,000 Bentley. Like, no, doesn't change, bro. You're 80 and you're fucking ripping it like that. Like, you got if you had $8 billion, how delusional would you become?
I don't know about that. I don't think I'd be too delusional.
Yeah, we say that now until you're sitting on it like Scrooge McDuck going, fuck it, I only got 15 years left. Let's do what the fuck we want to do. Like, there's a big part of that, and especially after you've been king of the world and your boy's Ben Salman and could bail you out of anything you wanted. Your boy's Donald Trump. But what can't you do, really? It's insane that these stories are still out there, and they're still gonna settle. It's not like he's gonna go to court for any of this. It's all just to build up more evidence against him. I bet his fucking attorneys are hot. This shit is out right now.
I hope he go. I mean, personally, I hope it does go to court. I mean, obviously, it's probably not going to, but I would.
Not when you have $8 billion, bro. It won't.
I would prefer it would, just so we could get, you know, a lot more information out about Vince McMahon. But like you said, it's probably.
You think the girl that let dudes fucking simulated rape her in an office building and shit on her head isn't going to settle for $30 million when she only wanted 3 to start with? Sorry, I got to take this call. Josh is calling me.
No, you're fine. Crazy stuff, guys. Crazy stuff. While Ben takes this phone call, of course, just wanted to remind you guys to check out patreon.com/RussoTWC. You can sign up this week and you can get the latest and greatest episodes, such as Master Shoot Theater and the Raw and SmackDown review, where they went a little bit more in depth on this as well. Yeah, crazy. Let's see what's going on in the chat room. Caribou says, I'm so glad I canceled my Peacock last month. Sonic the Hedgehog says, so true. Vince McMahon still acts like the idiots in North Carolina. TN Couponer says, wonder how many more stories will come out about Vince after he dies. That's a great question. That is a really good question. Because, I mean, how many people are just waiting in the cut to stooge, to be a running wild stooge, as Ben's moniker is today? Unfortunately, you know, we're just going to have to wait and see. I mean, he's 80 years old, right? So, I mean, how much longer does this guy have? You know, really? He's got, what, maybe 5 to 10 years left? So we'll probably find out here in the next 5 to 10 years, even more so, what kind of deviant sexual acts Vince McMahon got into. And as been pointed out, it most likely will end up getting some sort of settlement. So
his mom lived to be what, 98?
I was going to say, though, I mean, how much longer does he got? 5, 10, 15 years?
Yeah, dude, you got $8 billion. You can fucking go get all the Korean kid
Adrenochrome
cocks you want, fucking pump yourself through. And who knows if he's, when you're that bent out of like reality, if he's not going to do some cryogenically frozen shit. So in 40 years, when you can just have your head put on an automated body, and you're back and you have your actual consciousness, they revive it, that you're not going to have Vince McMahon Terminator fucking T2000.
Well,
TRT 2000. Look at me. I'm fucking jacked, pal. Yeah.
That's a good Master Shoot Theater segment in the future.
Yeah.
Gosh.
Dude. Yeah, dude. Like crazy behaviors, bro. And then now like more and more with the Hogan stuff, like, well, he was taking 5 Percocets a day, and maybe he ran out, and maybe his handler went down to the corner and brought him back some illegal perks, and maybe there was some fentanyl, like all these like spins and shit that are coming out of it. And now his ex-wife Sky is suing the doctor for malpractice. But is it malpractice when you can say, well, he's taking a legal Percocet off the street? Like, Church of Scientology is silent and in the background, probably pulling the strings on a lot of it. You know what I mean? Like crazy shit on every level of wrestling in the last week, dude. And even who was on podcast just stooging? Jake Hager stooging off Tony Khan.
I've got that story too. Yeah. Before we move into some AEW news, just to get an update here on Vince McMahon, Vince McMahon has apparently reportedly moved to dismiss his reckless driving lawsuit. Of course, as we mentioned, he got into a crash with his Bentley colliding with a BMW. No one sustained any injuries from the crash, though McMahon's car was written off with irreversible damage to the front, meaning that it was totaled. McMahon is due in court on misdemeanor reckless driving and following too closely, resulting in an accident. McMahon's attorney in the case, Mark Sherman, has confirmed to Wrestling Inc., as first reported by TMZ, that he filed a motion on his client's behalf on Tuesday to suspend and dismiss the matter. He said that if the motion was granted, it, quote, would ensure a complete dismissal of the case, but still allows Vince to convey contrition and concern for other drivers, which is his top priority.
Dude, even this shit is like ribs, right? Like it's them like, yeah, fuck everybody, bro. We run the world. you know, it's unbelievable. 80 years old, bro. Like, if anybody should have a self-driving car so they can then focus on more business because they're addicted to it.
Business.
Or have a driver. Yeah, exactly. Get up and have your morning 3 hookers in the back of the limo. Instead, you're driving yourself. Like,
Yeah,
what are we doing, dog?
I don't know, man. A lot of money he's got. You would think he would just have a chauffeur at this point.
It's crazy, bro. It really is. So
if I could just have a tenth of his money, I'd have a chauffeur, and I'd
yeah,
set, you know,
you're set for life, dude. You live off the interest off.
Yeah,
that.
exactly.
It just sits there in a money market account. You make 5% a year on $8 billion, bro. Like, what the fuck? Like, crazy. And they just keep on doing what they want. No Epstein list, no fucking. Now we're gonna possibly arrest Obama for treason and like all this shit tear down of like, pick your poison of if you're in a wrestling timeline, a politics timeline, or pop culture bullshit. Taylor Swift got engaged. Fucking just like, look over here, look over here. No, there's no aliens and meteors coming. Look over here. Like, it's fucking insane, bro. You just got to buy a ticket and enjoy the show, except the tickets cost about $4,800 now.
All right, let's jump into some AEW. As you already alluded to, Jake Hager ripped Tony Khan. Quote, he can't make himself a sandwich, let alone write a storyline that will last. That is the headline from SEScoops.com. So the Hager, who was recently, I believe it was on the Chris Van Vlies podcast. While speaking with Bill Apter, Dutch Mantel, and Dr. Chris Featherstone of Sports Media.
Sorry, right there. If he had $8 billion in cash and it wasn't just in assets, in a 5% money market account, you'd make $400 million a year doing nothing. $400 million a year. and people have to fucking starve getting groceries at $80 a bag, pretty much, right? And like, people can make $400 billion off of fucking Palantir and Nvidia dividends, shit like that, just because they got it like that, bro. It's crazy. It's crazy, this planet we live
on. All right, so Jake Hager continues to speak about his time in All Elite Wrestling, once again taking aim at President Tony Khan. As I mentioned, he has sat down with Bill Apter, Dutch Mantel, and Dr. Chris Featherstone of Sportskeeda, which is, I believe, Vince's co-host, right, on the Raw watch-along review. So he said, quote, he can't make himself a sandwich, let alone write a storyline that will last. He can spend a lot of money and make a big debut and make a lot of fireworks. Everything changed after Cody Rhodes left in 2022, after which he says it became a free-for-all. He alleges at one point Khan would not respond to his messages for like 2 weeks when Chris Jericho was trying to contact him. He said they stopped doing production meetings. They stopped doing anything to make the show timely. We would be waiting around till like 5 p.m. to find out what we're doing that day. He also goes on to claim that Tony wanted nothing to do with me because I was from the Fed and he's an indie darling guy. He wants flips and hamburgers and hot dogs, not storylines.
Give me some buns and wieners, Deucey.
And, of course, there was, I believe, he also said that he wakes up every day with an opportunity to try and say, fuck you, Tony Khan, I believe.
Yeah, like my man Hager going stiff on him, the old Hagermeister. And, you know, Jake Hager is a working-ass man's man, Oklahoma fucking NCAA All-American, and was one of the lead guys at OVW there during my time. And even though he's a high-level jock, he never really that much of a dickhead to people. Like, easy to get along with and didn't treat people like shit, like they were under him. But you got to respect him like a man, dude. They put him on the fast track with Dr. Death, fucking Jim Ross, and Robert Gibson, like trying to really get him there, like fast. They wanted him to be the guy. And Tony Khan not strapping a rocket to him is the same as Wardlow or whoever else. You got guys, that's who your top guys should be. And instead, it's indie dudes with fucking Fred because PWI 500 rated them in the top 100, and they don't even belong. Not everybody belongs. I'm not going to say that because anybody can be champ. Any character can get over. But to be like taking it seriously and who's your draw and who's your money and who you're spending money on and your investment, that's a blue chip stock. Jake Hager is a blue chip fucking investment. So why would you not want to get max value out of them just because you like these penny stocks? Penny stocks can make you money, but they're not going to make your everything where it should be. So that's just a kid who comes from a dad with a shit ton of money doing what he wants to do and doesn't understand what's best for business. He didn't have a Booker big brother to show him how to do draws and what needs to be and why the choices he's making devalue the properties that he's invested in, you know? So then there comes a time after the newness of being around your wrestling boys wears off where you get to use all your favorite words like gimmick and kayfabe 100 times. That's a shoot, brother. Fucking bullshit. And then you get abused by the guys and people get in your ear like, you got to stop this. You got to step up. And that's when you burst into the locker room and start wagging the finger. I'm going to put you in a 6-man Big Show. You imagine Tony Khan dressing down the Big Show and Jericho and fucking Sting, bro, because you signed the check. Like, that's crazy to me. Of you've got a guy who is pretty far out on a couple different spectrums, trying to, you know, captain the ship with a bunch of workers who were in the Monday Night Wars, and you're supposed to respect them. Like, that's a tough spot to be in for everybody, dude, you know? But then the boys who've been around just look at each other and go, shut the fuck up and cash the check. We're going to work this money mark for everything he's worth. And Tony knows it, and he can't do anything about it, because if he does cut him, then he looks like he got fooled. And the last thing a man in my position can do is to make me look foolish.
I mean, so I briefly, I think it was mentioned by Stevie, or it could have been mentioned by you either recently or I've heard you say it in the past, that it takes about 10 years to really get this business.
That's
right?
Rip.
That's
Rip would say, boys, it really takes about 8 to 10 years before you even get this shit. And then the fucking rib is your body starts falling apart and you can't fucking do anything. So then you stop working and just do character instead. And then about 5 years after that, you're fucked. And he ain't wrong. I was right on I never was a great worker, but my body started falling apart and fucking yalla. That's how it goes, dude. You got about 20 years till the wheels fall off this shit, you know?
So with Tony Khan, right, he's about 5 years in. So do you see within the next 3 to 5 years of him getting it?
Yeah, I'm sure he's learned a lot of lessons the hard way. But he was bankrolled, so it doesn't hurt him that much. You know what I mean? If he was really having to take L's on a house, and I'm sure he has, he's had to fucking choke down a bunch of shit and go to dad at the fucking family dinner and where's my investment, son? Dad, next year we're projected, Dad. Dave said next year we're gonna make the most money ever. Like, you know, but I'm sure Shad Khan's just like, oh, good job, son. You're doing good, buddy. Which he's probably been saying since, you know, throw the wiffle ball. You know, like, that's what it feels like to me. Because, dude, even Taz, the thing they just did for Taz at 2300 Arena, which was nice, but Tony comes out and puts a big hug on Taz, bro. Like, we're talking about serious helicopter parent or else no parent, and I only had nanny issues, so I have daddy issues that I need to be hugged by other grown men on camera. It's very telling to me as someone who studies psychology of human beings and how they behave for character reasons, you know.
Did you see the production setup for the 2300 Arena for Dynamite on Wednesday at all?
Yeah.
Pictures?
You know, the problem is, and I think even Jimmy Corderas said this, is ECW needs to look gritty, not high definition and well lit.
Right.
And it's gotta, you know, have all that. And there are even simple things. Somebody tweeted me like, Hacker, they even fucked it up worse than WWE did with the ECW shit. They're in the arena. I heard they did lights down, lights up, and it was supposed to be Hook, like a Hook came out or whatever. You do lights down, lights up in ECW arena, you're in the ring with the towel over your head. They did lights down, lights up, and gave him an entrance.
Yeah.
The guy's Taz is right there. How is this happening? Paul Heyman is right there. How are you getting the New Jack entrance wrong? I don't have a fucking clue, bro. As a guy who was a super fan, is when we say inside the bubble, are these guys so close to it that they don't see it anymore? I don't understand, because I live inside the wrestling bubble to some degree, a lot less these days, but I still would have seen that, and so would a Strangler Steve, and so would a Josh, and anybody else who was a Northeast top guy that it was an ECW fanatic. I just don't understand how these mistakes can even begin to happen.
It's very dumbfounding, especially, you know, like you mentioned, they're in the 2300 arena. They had an opportunity, you know, fuck it, shoot 4x3, make it really go old school.
Yeah,
you know?
Absolutely. That's your opportunity. You're trying to pluck the nostalgia heartstring. Everything needs to look that way. And if I was going to do it and rib it, when I keep saying gorilla position, they'd rip them. They're going to rip Tony Khan either way. So do you fucking have somebody come up with a big leather jacket and headset and like Khan's there doing his thing, and he puts it on and he doesn't even realize it. And then somebody's like, oh, there's a phone call for you. You hand him an old school brick phone, and instantly he's Paul Heyman. He's like, get this shit off of me. I'm a way better booker than that son of a bitch. What, dude, you also had the opportunity to cut a fat check and get Joey Styles. No Joey Styles. Okay, I guess so, bro. For one match, or even something backstage that would pop, like, and it looks like we're going backstage for an interview. Let's see. And then Joey's just there as a big surprise. Was Joel Gertner on the show? What the fuck are we doing, bro? No Joel Gertner opening. Nobody even doing a Joel Gertner bit. And fucking then Joel comes out and fucking gets over on him. You're getting the rub. Like, it's unreal. These guys act like they're super fans. Khan's a super fan that wants to pay respect. It's not cosplay when you mix those guys into your Kool-Aid. Did Sandman come out?
No, there was no
I
Sandman.
could call Sandman now and get him booked in a month. Like, if I can do it, how the fuck can you not do it to have him come out and kendo stick? Dude, Hangman Page is getting fucking beat down or some shit. Lights out. Enter Sandman. Shit's over with. Throw him the kendo stick. Line up the boys. Whack, whack, whack. Fucking... I don't understand, like, that you're there and you're not going to do what needs to be done. That you were such a wrestling fan and you're not going to, you're paying to relive that moment. You're paying to be there. Like, why not get the most fun out of it with the fucking dudes?
Isn't Jerry Lynn? Doesn't he work there? He was backstage.
It's fucking crazy to me, dude.
Yeah, no Rob Van Dam, no ECW guys. And they're supposed to be there for 11 shows. I think they're there till September 11th, Thursday, September 11th. So they're running, they're running 7 events at the 2300 arena.
Then why would you do Taz like a Taz farewell night 1?
I don't know. I don't know. I can't understand what they're doing back there, man.
Fucking have Dean Malenko call out Chris Jericho, and Dean's got a cane, just starts beating the fuck out of him.
Where's Chris Jericho? You know?
Yeah, I think he's maybe done in laying out and stay small until he debuts in the Royal Rumble. That'd be the smartest thing, for sure.
Well, Dynamite AEW had a little bit of a controversy. Last night's Dynamite, as I mentioned, kicked off that residency, but there's some controversy locally in regards to the production crew. I don't know if you heard about this, but the Philadelphia chapter of the IATSE union, which represents stage crews, has shared its belief in a post on social media. Brandon Thurston of WrestleNomics says that AEW is not, or they alleging the union, that AEW is not paying its crew for their residency up to union standards, which damages their bargaining position. According to a video posted by the union on Facebook, which Thurston shared, AEW typically works with venues that have a unionized crew, but the 2300 arena has avoided working with the union for many years. The leadership of the IATSE chapter believes that AEW has enough pull to get union workers on the job, or at least pay the existing crew up to the same standards. so a few dozen protesters were present outside the arena last night to picket Dynamite, but they made it clear they weren't attempting to convince anyone not to attend the show. Instead, they encouraged people to make their voices clear in person and online over the use of non-union crews for the residency. And as I mentioned, they're there for the next 7 shows up till September 11th, pal.
Tony Khan says, fuck it, I ain't paying the Scarfo family. We got some serious mob heat. Like, does that go back in wrestling? Like, that Paul Lee cut a deal that if you work 2300 arena, you don't got to pay the Philly mob. But, you know, I had tweeted this. I thought Andrew Yang solved all this.
Yeah, me too.
I mean, this shouldn't be going on. Killer Cross would still have a job. You know, fucking, and the guys in the crew would be getting paid, you know, and hold these promoters accountable. But it's carny on every level, bro.
I just don't.
The metrics.
I don't get it like this. If you're a billionaire, why are you looking to cut corners on the production staff, the people that are making your show as best presentable as possible?
I get that it's like that and it may be that. Let's say in an ideal world it is that. Like, okay. Then he's just skimping out. To me, being a mob movie fan, who runs the unions?
The mobs.
Yeah. And that means somebody said, you want to run there? It'll cost you 10 grand. And he goes, to who? It'll cost you 10 grand. No, I'm not paying 10 grand. Okay. AEW doesn't pay its fucking union help. Run with it to the dirt sheets. Unnamed, no face sources, nobody putting anything out there. Somebody wanted money. Somebody wasn't going to pay it. And then you get things like this. And it's to look like, oh, they're fucking the little guy who sets up chairs there on the weekend. You know what I mean? Like, it's painted that way. That's not how shit's done. Like the little guy's story, if he wasn't getting paid, wasn't hitting the dirt sheets like the way this did. You know, the IAT, they hide behind the union letters. Who's behind it? Who's got the power to put that out there? Why are they putting it out? Because if you go to Tony Khan, what's he going to say? It's fucking, and this is all hearsay. I'm just hypothetically in my own fictional mind making this up. No, I didn't want to pay the Scarfos, like, you know, because that would set a bad precedent. And anytime we came to town, I'd be fucking shelling out an extra $100K.
Okay. All right. As a production guy, I'm just like, pay them. You know, why can't you just give them livable, fair wages?
I think they're just being used as chess pieces in a piece of business that can't truly hit the front page how it should.
All right.
Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Okay.
All right. Next story I have here. This kind of goes back to the Raja Jackson stuff, but this is Shane Helms, who is a producer, obviously, for WWE, says he went on to explain what a receipt is. Because, of course, fans and wrestlers have been debating about the situation, as Roger was told he could get a receipt after being hit with a can by Stu. So in a Twitter post, Shane Hurricane Helms set the record straight on what a receipt in wrestling is. He says, quote, "A receipt in the ring is for the shit that's happened in the ring. If you got backstage beef, handle that shit backstage. If you got personal heat, handle that shit on personal time. Receipts are not for settling personal grievances. If you were trained otherwise, your trainer is wrong." So do you agree with that, Ben, that on his notion on what a receipt is?
Yeah, he's right. You don't receipt somebody on the next show because they got you on the show before. A receipt is really like, you know, you might have thought you were pulling a punch and I turned my head a certain way and you really cracked me. So I'm going to crack you one. So it's like, all right, let's lighten up. But one for one, I was owed that one. You know what I mean? And it's not like I'm going to shoot on you now and we're going to turn this into a shoot because we have backstage locker room heat. A receipt, maybe somebody's trying to tune you up or wants to test you of like, let me hit this kid once and see if he's going to give me one back. And then they'll lighten up on you. And these are old school things to fucking protect. When they say protect the biz, That's what they mean. You know what I mean? Whatever that is, you're still taking liberties with somebody, but that's how you earn respect in a testosterone sports entertainment, whatever the fuck this is. So he's right in what it is. You don't bring that heat into the ring. That's the last place you bring outside heat and politics is in there, because all eyes are on you in the locker room. And if you start going to biz for yourself, now you're selling. Now you're fucking doing something that I can't trust that guy anymore. And look at where they're breaking them. The heat's breaking them. If you start going into biz for yourself on somebody in the ring. So in the ring, that's where you do your most professional work. So when you go back on the road and you got to cut somebody's throat, they can't hold that shit over you, but you're gunning for their spot. So that's a big part of it. Can you deal with the political pressure and the silent heat backstage, and will it affect you? Look what they tried to do to Mark Henry when they sent him down in the ring. No opponent came out, and he fucking broke in the ring, because he's a dude from outside of wrestling who's used to somewhat professionalism, and they're just trying to fucking poke the bear and rib him and see if he'll sell for it. So you can't out there. That's our canvas. You can't sell for your own personal shortcomings of not being able to hang on to stoicism long enough until you get to the back, where you can then, we got to have it out. Let's fucking have it out. Bro, you hit me in the face 5 fucking times. What the fuck? You got a problem? No problem. No problem. Then why are you doing that? Why are you hitting me for real? Somebody tell you to do that? No, I'm sorry. Then you're a shitty worker. Is that what it is? No. Well, then why are you doing that? Well, you got a problem with me? Yeah, I do. Let's go outside. We'll hit for real then. That's how it can go. And we can shake hands afterwards, or there is all kinds of people call shit in, and is he going to stiff him? Is he going to do this? Like, some guys deserve it. Doesn't mean you got to do it,
Have you ever been in a situation where you had to get a receipt, someone needed to get a receipt on you?
Yeah, I deserved, absolutely. That a match that really haunts me to this day was right at the end of my career. I slapped
Kayla because she wouldn't kiss you. No, I'm just kidding.
points. Mr. Saturday Night. It's fucking escaping me in Canada. He's on Impact. He's fucking awesome guy. And I wanted to have a really good match with him, and I $5 slapped him for real. And he was shook, like he didn't know where he was in the beginning of the match. Tyler Turva, excuse me. And I was completely in the wrong. And it haunts me to this day. There's some performances. I mean, it wasn't anything huge, like a milestone performance, but I pride myself on not hurting people. And I don't know what was up with my ego that night, but I should have, and I fucking cranked him. And he had to powder, and he was effed up on the outside when I had to go get him. And then the match just fell apart, where he was doing the Bret Hart, put my leg on the rope spot, but he had receded me back, so I was kind of rocked. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I thought he had done the Bret Hart sit down on my leg, but he hadn't done it yet. And I moved my leg, and he got pissed. Like, what the fuck? Picked my leg up, put it back on, did the spot. And I was like, oh shit, is he gonna hurt my leg for real? Because now he's mad. And then it was just all fucked up. And he's like, take it home, fucking choke slam me. The finish is camel clutch for the business. I was like, okay. He let me choke slam him. He took a hell of a bump. I pinned him. It's like, fuck this fucking shit. He was mad. And then I was like, I'm sorry, bro. I fucked this all up. Because I had a really good match with him 2 years beforehand, because he's A+, fitness guy, fucking super athletic versus gimmick. Sometimes that doesn't work, but it really did. So we were both looking forward to it, and I fucked it up. It just hangs with me, and maybe that's just me, taunting myself. But then I asked bro, I got to do the clutch for the finish. Are you cool with it? Have Sideburns ask him, and then he did it. But he was mad. And then the next show, dude, I definitely asked him to go into the next room, and I totally gave him an apology that he deserved, and I hope he accepted it. I hope he knows that I do respect him. a ton, and that match haunts me, bro. And there's been other shit. I've had plenty of shitty matches, but as far as me doing something out of line, that's one of the few times I could think of. I think Josh and Steve asked me to slam somebody one time that was being a heater, and I protected them, but a slam's a slam. You know what I mean? I'm a big fucking dude when I give you one. So they were pumped about that. They just were testing me to see if I'll do what the office tells me to do, you know?
Yeah.
And I've been stiffed a couple times that it just happens. It wasn't anything malicious. Things that piss me off is when guys go in politic because they don't want a job to me in the finish. Did I tell you about the time with Brooklyn Brawler at in Chicago?
No.
So it was Battle Royal, and I was Vicky Guerrero's handpicked fucking winner or whatever, and the winner wins $5,000. And I was in the final four, and so it's Brooklyn Brawler, me, and this other dude, and then a guy who's a former soldier, much like Psycho Stu. Okay. And the soldier dude. So Brooklyn Brawler's going over. Is it better for Brooklyn Brawler to go over on me or to go over on a fucking former U.S. soldier?
Probably better to go over on you.
And who should get eliminated first? Me or the soldier?
Probably the soldier.
Why?
Get him out of there. So that way he can get out of there and not no.
Because I will then have
heat.
Yes,
right.
So when Brooklyn Brawler beats me, right, I'm paying off my heat.
Your heat.
That guy's job is to fucking be the hope spot for America, and it gets fucked over, but the Brooklyn Brawler is the one who's going to be the guy. Now, we could have run it back another way. Like, I could have gotten over on Brooklyn Brawler, and then it could have been me and that kid, and that guy wins for America. And Brooklyn Brawler would have had no problem with that, but the promoter's paying Brooklyn Brawler a fucking hefty sum, as well as Vicky Guerrero, to stand there and yell at me afterwards. You know, so I know I'm already getting over, A, because I'm getting eliminated by Brooklyn Brawler, which is stupid at that point, and I have Vicky Guerrero. And so who looks like a star?
You.
Like, I don't need to win the match, but this is best business. Comes to find out, this kid who's, I don't know him that well, you know, I don't want to speak ill of him, but I'm sure his family was there, and he went and fought in a war that was based on complete lies. So that's going to trigger him just my fucking being there. Right. Like,
yeah.
And now he goes in politics to say that I don't think I should lose this guy. I don't think that's a good look, and and the promoter isn't going to go, yeah, like, you know, like, sorry, PTSD soldier. That's not the way it is. Because Brooklyn Brawler is going over anyway, but he goes in politics to look bad. The finish, when Brooklyn Brawler beats him, is flat. Oh, they beat the nostalgia baby face we like that's a jobber, beat the baby face soldier. Great. As opposed to
got heat,
the
right? Terrorist
fucking is about to win this, but we've blew up the Death Star again, bro. Like, it's things like that on the indies that are hard, that stick out to me, where I'm like, it's not my spot to do business. I'm there to do what the promoter tells me to, but I also I'm not going to waste my time to go politic to be like, and even after the show, Brooklyn Brawler comes up to me and goes, why did he want to finish that way? I go, you know as well as I do, but so like, I have the respect of my peers and legends, where these indie goofs fucking can't look bad in front of their little sister, and I got to change the finish. And now the finish means nothing because they don't understand the psychology of professional wrestling, because they haven't had a Rip Rogers mentor, or even if they did, they really didn't pay attention well enough in class.
Now, have you ever, obviously you just mentioned the fact that you had a situation where you messed up, so you got a receipt. Have you ever been backstage at a show? Have you ever been backstage at a show or seen it watching on a monitor somewhere where a receipt goes wrong and then these two guys, or I don't know, get into a scuffle backstage? Have you ever been part of that?
Yeah, when Ali did something on Cliff Compton and OVW in our early days, Cliff went off in the ring and was mad at the end, and Ali had changed something. I don't even remember. It was like on a roll up or something like that. And Ali's like, what the fuck? And Cliff's like took real offense to that. It was something similar to that. Whatever. It was over nothing. But like, it's just guys trying to be top guys. Insurgency had worked hard to get there. Cliff's coming back from WWE. He's got probably a chip on his shoulder. And then these guys coming up the ladder are fucking trying to talk shit. So it's a perfect storm of dick swinging, right?
Yeah.
And he fucking pushes Ali and Khalil's behind Ali, and I just grabbed Cliff to like separate, and whatnot. And once he got hooked up by me, it was a different scenario. So like things can happen. That's just my experience in the back. Other guys fights. I don't know. I guess like most guys will go and kayfabe that instead of doing it right in front of the boys. You know what I mean?
Okay.
So I'm sure it does happen with some guys' business and shit like that. But most of the time, if you're working the legend spot like I am, you really want to shine them, get the fucking rub from them, and then get the hell out of there and give them their stage picture. You know what I mean? Yeah. I'm not going to stay there. So my job is to get heat and pay it off, to make the pressure cooker fucking really get steaming, and then the release valve is the 1, 2, 3.
All right. Well, that's a lot of the wrestling news I've got. And now for some conspiracy horseman news.
Oh my.
So, I mean, we could get into the Minnesota shooter, but what I wanted to talk about with you today was another air traffic control communication problem that disrupts holiday travel at the Newark airport.
Yeah.
So a ground stop on Thursday morning at Newark Liberty International Airport had a ripple effect throughout the day, just as Labor Day weekend travel rush kicked into full gear. The problem started when the FAA issued a temporary ground stop for arriving flights because of air traffic control communication issues. Air traffic controllers in the center told ABC News they lost their radio frequencies, and as a result, incoming flights to Newark and Teterboro Airport were ground stopped due to equipment issues until 12:30 p.m. However, by 4 p.m., there were still 2.5-hour delays, and the FAA had reduced the number of flights coming into the airport. Departing flights did not appear to be impacted, and a spokesperson with United Airlines described the ground stop as a glitch. This is the second outage, though, for the controllers at the Philadelphia ATC Center that handles air traffic control for Newark airspace in the last 24 hours. There was another outage between 6:30 and 7:30 p.m. Wednesday where audio wasn't coming in clear between planes and controllers for a brief time. And controllers at Newark were warned that frequency issues could happen any time over the next 24 hours, an on-duty controller told ABC News. This comes as the FAA expects this to be the busiest Labor Day weekend for air travel in 15 years. Ben, your thoughts on air traffic control losing frequencies, losing communication with everything that's gone on just this year with all the different air crashes that we've seen?
Yeah, this seems like a very fixable problem, and Newark has been an issue now for the past year or two with a lot of tech issues and whatnot. I don't understand how we're not, if there's something you can solve by throwing money at a problem, it's upgrading technology. So why is SpaceX not in on this with the Starlink satellites if we need to be as a backup system? Why isn't Garmin, that produces almost all of the top avionics, like setting up shop there with like in an airplane hangar with all their best shit as they build a new control system that they can install bit by bit and have like a backup where they're running a remote system someplace of the best equipment that is going to stay online? Are we using some 1970s shit that still is antiquated, or what's the deal? I don't know what level of tech issue it is, whether it's some type of 5G tower, or is there some type of interference that's causing this? It seems to be like the line's just going dead. So is that based on satellite dishes that need to be updated? Seems like there's plenty of FAA and telecom people that could get this done in a emergency situation turnaround if this is one of the busiest airport hubs right out of, outside of New York City. LaGuardia and JFK is Newark, where people hop their second flight, transfer. So I actually, in all the flights we've been looking at, I absolutely try and go to Charlotte or Atlanta or LA or excuse me, JFK before I'll go to Newark. I'll almost not take that flight because the risk is too great that forget about that, you might not make your next flight, or B, you may fall out of the sky or crash into another plane because there's nobody in the goddamn tower that knows what's going on because they're in a complete blackout. And you're not going to know that as a passenger, but your fucking captain will be flying a 747 Airbus by the fucking seat of his pants with no, am I clear at the end of the runway? So like now we're talking very high risk of what could possibly go wrong now. And it looks like Airplane the movie when you come fucking blazing through gate 7 and the fucking window smashing, right? Like,
yeah.
So this is something to me that there is no excuse for this. If it's a tech issue in getting the most modern shit in there on spec, it's not like Garmin doesn't have this laying around and you just say, yeah, send me the bill. You know what I mean? Like, get it.
Do you think they're
fixed.
purposely not fixing it?
Now you're talking problem, reaction, solution.
Right.
Why would you want to lose contact with a plane near New York City? Why would you want to set that pattern up to do that? Or something's wrong over there. Now we have a window to do fucking projects. Go fuck your granny socks or whatever it is. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So like they did it 20 fucking 4 years ago. They're going to do something that level or again, as power slips more and more away from them, bro, in misdirection spots. Even this trans shooter is a fucking, I believe, a fucking look over here while they're announcing that they may fucking pursue charges against Barack Obama. Former president and first ladies may be getting arrested because right now they're going to squeeze, what's the Muppet? They fucking just went and got all this shit from his house. He was on Bush's staff and lied all about the wars. God damn it. It's got the mustache and the fucking, used to have red hair. No, the FBI just raided his house looking for a bunch of shit. But they're going to pinch him, and he's going to do what AJ Mann is doing right now on the fucking Samoans and throw him under the fucking bus, dude. Like, it just is the exact same shit no matter what. They're going to pinch him, and they're going to rat on him. But while you're talking about John Brennan, I believe his name is.
John Bolton?
Bolton, thank you. Yeah,
okay.
yeah. John Bolton. While that's going on, you might fucking take down former presidents and first ladies who staged a coup d'etat against America. Just so happens a trans shooter out of nowhere goes into a church. Like, are these fucking deep state CIA weirdos that have been recruited, MK Ultra mind controlled, to do we need something else in the headlines that's more salacious than that? And that's exactly what happened today. Like, it's just coincidence, maybe. But after watching Oliver Stone's JFK and the whole Fletcher Prouty Mr. X scene, you might think differently if you watch that.
Well, Ben, do you have any other topics, headlines you wanted to get into today before we wrap
what else? It's a pretty heavy locker room with a lot of heavy news this week, bro. I would love to see those lawyers actually pursue something against them, especially with that shoot from that young writer who had to stand outside a plane and witness that. You're pretty much saying, watch me rape one of my employees. Everybody get out.
Yeah.
And we're supposed to tune in and go, Pentasero Mierdo. Okay.
Yeah.
Thanks for giving me that fucking guilty conscience, bro.
it continues to be very disturbing how much information we're finding out about Ashley Massaro's time in WWE. You know,
That's Ashley Massaro, and fucking Janelle Grant is one of 19. One of 19. If that's the standard, what has he done and more to 18 other victims? And we're supposed to go, Triple H era is the best era. Isn't that right, Deuce and Michael Hayes?
Yeah.
What are we doing as human beings, bro?
I don't know, man. We live in a sick, sad world.
Yeah, bro, it really is. And all you wanted to do was to be entertained by larger-than-life characters. And what goes into that in this weird carnies, queers, and addicts mafia behind the scenes, whether it's steroids, pill addiction, sexual dysfunction, all the fucking go perform in front of a bunch of fucking people who are heavily on the spectrum and fucking inbred Jed, level fucking fans. Not you guys in the chat room. You guys are aces. But fucking there's a lot of them. And or so they can go sing Roman Reigns. That's what we're doing it for. If Vince walked out next week, they'd fucking cheer him.
Yeah. I mean, well, they were cheering him outside of his 80th birthday party. When he was leaving, there were people out there saying, "We love you, Vince. You're the man."
It's fucking crazy, bro.
Well,
they did the same thing to Al Capone. They did the same thing to fucking El Chapo and fucking what's his name, hailed like a god in Colombia. Fucking who's El Padrone from Narcos?
Oh,
fucking Escobar, Pablo Escobar, bro.
Yeah, Pablo
like
Escobar.
Guys who are ruthless murderers. Fucking hailed as fucking. I named my son after you. Okay.
All right, well, ladies and gentlemen, I think that's a good stopping point here on the Friday Locker Room. Of course,
Ding dong.
You can check out all of our content here on YouTube right now as we make the transition to Patreon at the end of the year, but as well as all of the podcasts are uploaded to channelattitude.com right now until the remainder of the end of the year. So if you are a Channel Attitude subscriber, we are still making sure to get you your podcast and Vimeo videos to you each and every day. Also, check out the Wednesday Locker Room. They were back this week on YouTube with Billy Ray Valentine and Andrew Bello. Yeah, they recorded Tuesday night, so it's on Hami Media Group. They also did a discussion on the Raja Jackson stuff as well. So if you want to get Billy Ray Valentine and Bello's thoughts on it, you can go check that out on Hami Media Group's YouTube. Do me a favor, if you're on Twitter, head over to my Twitter page at Matthew_Schaffer. There is a trailer for a brand new movie I'm in.
Yeah,
just retweet it out. It's a horror movie. It's called Modern Folklore. It drops October 17th on streaming services such as Amazon, Google Play, wherever you purchase movies, and it eventually will be coming to regular streaming services as well for free. But if you have an X account, Twitter account, whatever you want to call it, head over to my page, Matthew_Schaffer, retweet that out. Check out the trailer. Let me know what you think. The feedback I've gotten so far from a lot of different people is the movie looks good. So hopefully everyone enjoys it, and hopefully, maybe something will come from it. Maybe I'll get my big break finally.
You'll finally do it. You'll finally be in the biz like with all the big kids. I'm proud of you, Matt, and definitely that's an order. Go over to Matthew_Schaffer and retweet that. Let's get some momentum behind it. If there's a place you can rate it down the road, give it that Meltzer 5-star, 6-star rating, and yeah, man, support MSG's art and everything he's doing, as well as the Suck My Balls podcast, dude. Real proud of you, buddy. And thanks for getting everything uploaded as we continue down the road here of all the locker rooms. And I think there's more fallout throughout the rest of this week coming, bro. I mean, like, these stories aren't done, and it's just tipping point, and stories that are even very important are getting pushed aside because even more salacious, crazy shit is coming out. So try and hold it down. Don't let them get to you. Keep it locked here. Hameen Media Group on YouTube, and check me out on Russo Brand this week. I don't know about a K100, appearance or what have you, but I'm always willing and open. I just got a lot going on. Ravens joint this weekend, working that Friday, Saturday, open to close shifts back to back, Daddy. So Hacker's going to be doing it. But me and MSG, we're going to get down and do some push-ups tonight, man. We're better men for it. Hopefully you guys are having a great end of your summer. And thanks for joining us here on the Friday Locker Room. YOLO.
You fucking mark!
That's what I'm saying.
Shout out to you, Kaz.